All right, so we got Big Bae'Jon in the building. What's up with it? How you doing?
What's up? I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I appreciate you pulling up. It really means a lot, for
Thank
real.
you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, just to get started and everything, talk about, where you from and, what your upbringing was like. I know you said you from Temple Hills, so, like, talk a little bit about what it was like growing up there.
Yes, so I'm from Temple Hills, Maryland. I've lived everywhere due to jobs and everything like that. Also because of the current areas, it might not have been what it was supposed to be at the time. So my family and I my family wanted to move my twin brother and I to a better area. From Temple Hills though, but you could say I'm not gonna say I'm from everywhere because I'm not from everywhere, but I've been everywhere. I am a model, I'm an actress, and I'm also an artist as well. So I do a lot. I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I'm a mom, first and foremost.
So, kind of like back to you, your childhood and everything. How did, like, moving around, how did that, like, shape your personality and, like, how you view the world and everything?
I want to say very cultural, I guess you could say. Very diverse. There we go. That's a better word. Very diverse. I'm not going to say we used to live in the hood, but we lived in the hood, and we've been around, but we've also lived in the suburbs as well. That kind of influenced my brother and I to be people. I guess you could say people of all people. So therefore, we know how to deal with everybody. We might be able to be a little hood, a little gangster at times, and then we also might be able to be uppity and can basically speaking in a way, how can I say this? Basically speaking in a way that fits the environment at the time. So like, if you're in a professional environment, you speak professional. If you're around, your friends or whatever the case may be, you know how you speak around your friends. Different adults, whites, blacks, Indians, whatever the case may be. So I want to say we were very well rounded.
What was your relationship like with your brother, growing up and, like, today?
I'm not gonna lie, my twin brother and I, we used to fight like cats and dogs. We used to fight like cats and dogs. I'm not gonna lie, that's the most reason why I do know, how to, protect myself today is because of my twin brother and also my dad as well. So, he taught us everything about self-defense, but our relationship now is actually really great. It's great, we talk about everything. Before we used to, you know, his life was his life, my life was our life. I mean, my life was my life, and but we both were, we did sports, so he just would do boy things and I would do girl things. But it would kind of be funny because in school people would think we were boyfriend and girlfriend because of how close we were. But it's like they were like, "You're boyfriend and girlfriend?" No, that's my twin brother. Ew, don't even think about that. Like, but other than that, no, our relationship is actually really great now. Yeah, it's great now.
And with, you being a model and, acting and doing music, was that something like that you kind of always had, in mind that you'd want to do, like, from a young age, or just something you kind of came into?
I want to say no. I'm gonna be really honest with you. No. My passion when I was younger was to be a veterinarian. I loved animals. I'm a nature girl, animal girl. I love animals, right? And then it's simultaneously graduated to me loving people. I've always been a people's person, right? But I started out with kids, and I've always had a passion for kids. I feel like I can connect with them on a different level, and coach them, mentor them, and no, to answer your question. But as I gradually, started to learn myself, I've always done sports. Sports 25/8. I ran track. I did flag football, played basketball. Even swam here and there, but not for a team or anything, just to to do it. But other than that, no, that wasn't really, something that I was looking into because I always thought I was going to make it to the Olympics or, just, own my own business and things like that. But I never really thought that I was going to be like, or grow old and be like, hey, I'm going to be an artist. I'm going to be a celebrity. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say I've had idols. I didn't have idols. I've had a favorite artist, and my favorite artist was Aaliyah. and rest in peace to her beautiful soul. And I used to dance and do choreography as well. So that was mainly like my thing, was just, learning about animals and dancing. And I used to do tap dance and ballet and everything like that. So that was more so what, I was thinking of I was going to be when I grew up, but completely changed.
Yeah, and I was like you mentioned Aaliyah, like I was gonna ask like who was some of like your influences growing up? Out, you mentioned Aaliyah, but
Aaliyah, because I feel like I can relate to her in a way. Kind soul, beautiful soul, a people's person, loves kids. She did a lot too. She did everything as well. But I feel like I can relate to her in a way. I can also sing as well. So that's another thing. I used to not really study her, but let me say this. She carried herself a way, because she was young, she carried herself a way that a woman should. And me realizing that at such a young age is beyond me, but I gravitated towards her and been loving her ever since. Like, she speaks to my soul, I guess. That's for a lot of people.
So out of singing or just music in general, acting, modeling, what would you say you're most passionate about?
That's a great question. Between singing, modeling, and acting.
Or if you had like a 1, 2, and 3, you could like rank
Okay,
them.
we can put it in order because I love all of them. So, I want to say being an artist would be number one, because that's like a let out for me. I'm able to express myself in a way that may be hard to express. I don't necessarily really talk to anyone about any issues I may have going on, but to God, obviously. So that's a way that I'm able to have an outlet through music. I want to say for my second, dancing. Dancing would be another thing. I want to say that's similar to me singing as well. It's another outlet for me. Like, I can move and feel free or whatever the case may be. So that's another thing. And then I guess third would be acting. I never would have thought I would have been an actress. But here I am.
So how did you get your start in the music?
Here we go. I was waiting for this question. Believe it or not, I used to sing in a choir. I used to sing in a choir, and I used to sing in elementary and middle school. And I loved it. And it was just very, very different for me. But what actually really started me out into actually making music, rest in peace to my ex-manager, his name is Tech Sosa. And I remember like one day we were in a studio, and this is a little backstory to why I began to do it. But one day I was in a studio. I mean, we were in there all day, all night. Over 12 hours, right? And he used to make beats. He was well-rounded in everything. So he made beats. He knew how to mix them. He knew how to master them. He even knew how to record, meaning how to, do it. So, and a lot of people, it's hard for them to do that. So, but we were just sitting there, and then he made this little fire beat, and I remember it kind of went like dun 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 dun, and I'm like, I'm looking at him, right, and I'm looking at the stems, right, so I'm looking, this is hard, but I'm looking at him move his little hands on the keyboard too. I'm like, how the hell is he doing that? Like, so I'm so intrigued, but I'm sitting there, we talking or whatever, and then he's like, I need you on this right now. So I look at him like, you need me on what? I need you on this beat. I said, what do you mean you need me on this beat? What am I supposed to do on this beat? Like, I never did anything on a beat before. So he's like, just be you. Like, just feel the beat. Like, feel the vibration through it. Let it speak to you. So I'm like, okay. He's like, you used to sing, right? And I'm like, yeah, but that's like in the shower. That's not like never in this type of setting. So he makes me go in the booth. I go in the booth, And I always remember, this is another thing, shout out to Migos, but they're the ones who actually taught me how to do my ad libs. Yeah. Right? And Fat Tro too. Fat Tro was another person I used to look like looking so heavy because the all that, right? So I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do that. So I'm feeling the beat, I'm feeling the motion of the music, and it feels like I have a feeling that I've never really necessarily felt before. I felt like my vibration was increasing, right? So it's playing, and then mind you, it feels like I'm in a secluded bubble. So I'm feeling it a little bit more. And mind you, like I said, I've never been in this setting, and this was a very professional studio. So we had the big window. Mind you, I'm looking at him continuing to make the beat as I'm spitting on the beat, right? But so other than that, it was literally just ad libs. And because I was so like stuck and I didn't, necessarily know how to spit on it, I just did ad libs, and he loved it. And I just was in the studio every day since then. And I want to say from then on, I maybe started taking it serious about maybe like 1 or 2 years after that, seriously. But then once I really started to, continue in on doing it, I've been in it ever since. So that's really how I came up, doing music, because of him.
How did you singing in the church, do you feel like that like kind of like shaped your style musically in any way?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. I want to say that's another thing that actually brought me closer to God. It's funny because I was so young back then doing it, but I've always been, close to God. I've always been, as you can say, one of the chosen ones. So definitely, I want to say, definitely for sure. For sure. If it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't even be singing now. My older brother, he can sing as well. So it kind of runs, in the family a little bit. But he actually coaches me sometimes, through the, the little vocals that we have to do at the vowel vocals that we usually do. But yeah, I want to say definitely, for sure.
And what is your like creative process like when you are making music?
You have to understand what it is that you want to do first. Understanding, number one. 2, knowing your sound and the sound that you want to do. Maybe, if it's your first time, you may have a few artists that you may listen to, and you may want to try to sound like them. And what you do is you study it, and then you practice. And that's what I used to do, at least, like what I said with Aaliyah. I used to practice some vocals, even Chris Brown, but it's some things that some techniques that I was taught, I used to do, incorporating into listening to my favorite artists. So I am a freestyler, but I'm also a writer, right? Now, I'm a writer in writing poems, not music. Yeah. But I'm a freestyler in music, not poems. Make sense? So like if I was to spit a poem to you, I would be all stuck in my words. But if I was to freestyle to you, I would be able to freestyle to you. But what I do is I just, allow my producer to, play the beat. No offense to anybody who uses YouTube beats, but I don't use YouTube beats. I've been there, done that, figured all that out, did my research with that. I'm cool on that. So my engineer, he actually makes beats for me. He either has some that he's already made, or he'll either make some right then and there. So as I'm listening to, the beat or whatever, like I said, there's this mode that I put myself in. And as I'm hearing the beat, I may like write a few words, and then I'm like, I'm ready to go. Let's go. And then that's what I do. I may get stuck here and there, but if I get stuck, I'll write a few more words and then just go off of those words. Yeah.
When you talked a little bit earlier about, your ex-manager and,
Yes.
The role that he, played in your musical career, just
Yes.
talk a little bit more about like, especially, with him, not being here anymore. Is there like a certain type of like motivation you have to keep going, to kind of like honor him and, what he meant to you?
Definitely. My ex-manager, he was very, rest in peace, man. I love you so much, and this is definitely for you. And I know you're listening right now. But and all his family and everybody, that knew him. Definitely a big motivation to keep going. He's actually one of the reasons why I did keep going. I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of steered away a little bit when he passed away. The backstory to that is honestly a little crazy. Like, and I feel like it was kind of like a cry out for help, but me not realizing what it was, like I wasn't fully paying attention, and that ended up being the last time I talked to him. But definitely a big movement of motivation for me to continue to do so. Like I said, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. He's introduced me to a number of artists. You know, he's introduced me to a number of platforms. He told me the do's and don'ts of the industry. He's definitely helped me get my name out there a lot, especially with these radio DJs and club DJs and things like that. So yeah, I want to say definitely a big motivation for me to keep going.
Is it more natural for you, or is singing more natural for you, or like rapping?
Both. But I want to say probably singing because that's what I started out in doing. My voice is more comfortable with that. Yeah, that makes sense.
What's been one of your, if you have one, favorite songs that you've done so far?
Mine or period?
Mm-hmm.
Mine?
That you've done, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I have about 40 plus songs saved up in the vault, and I've only released two. And asking me my favorite one out of all of those is a little hard, but my favorite one out of those, because it speaks a lot of value. Okay, there's three. I'm gonna say three. I'm gonna give you three. My top one is called Lion. Backstory behind that, we'll know about that a little later. Lion is definitely probably one of my favorite ones because of the cadence. I'm actually singing and rapping a little bit in that. And it was during a time where like, it was kind of like a rough spot for me. You know, us ladies, sometimes we have guy issues or whatever the case may be. So like I said in the beginning of this interview that, you know, music is one of my my outlets. So I was just expressing myself into one of those, and you know, and it's funny because when I first recorded the song, I never liked it. Like I'm listening to it like, I cannot stand this. But shout out to my mom, shout out to my sister Kathy, and shout out to everybody else that loved this song. They love it. And my mom, she's like one of my biggest fans. So she tells all her people about it, her job, whatever, tells everybody about it. But Lion is definitely probably one of my favorite ones. Second is Big Bae'Jon. Big Bae'Jon definitely, because Big Bae'Jon states who I am. And shout out to my son because he's in the video, so go tap in. Okay. Yeah, Big Bae'Jon definitely states who I am, so go stream them. Go stream those two guys, y'all. It'll give you a lot about who I am, what I do, and what I'm doing it for. My third song is I have not dropped yet, and that one's called Company, and that one is more so like R&B, singing, no rapping on it. So it's definitely a different vibe. No one's ever heard me sing like this before, so you know, from the people that did hear it in private, they love it, and they always say, you know, what's the saying? It sounds like you're already on, like, you know. So I'm gonna drop it so everybody can hear it and get a feel of that side of me. It's more of a feminine side, like not a you niggas be blind for what? Like it's not little baby is Big Bae'Jon. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not none of that. It's more so like I'm speaking to a man. Okay. You know, yeah.
And you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but like talk about, you know, the support you've gotten from like your family and, you know, your close friends and, you know, with your career and everything and all that you've done.
Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I have a major support from my family. Major support from my family, as I stated, my mom, she's one of my biggest fans. My older brother, I have an older brother who's done music. He actually used to sing, remember the show Sunday's Best? You don't remember the show Sunday's Best? Okay, you know American Idol.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so it was around then. Like,
okay.
How can I remember the show in? It's a gospel show. Yes, it's a gospel show. Mary Kay. What is their names? Hold on, give me a second. I gotta look it up. I'm sorry. Hold on. It's in my head right now. It's literally in my head. Somebody do something. Like, what was it? No, the sisters. Their names.
Oh, Mary.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You got it. Okay. Yes. They were the host of that.
Yeah.
You don't remember Sunday's Best?
Uh-uh.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so my brother, he was one of the nominees on Sunday's Best. So, like I said, it runs in the family. Actors run in the family. What is it? Big time sports players run in the family. Singers run in the family. Like, we're well rounded in everything that we do. But let me see. Like I said, my brother was my coach in that, so he was definitely one of my bigger supporters as well. My dad he might not say too much, like my dad is the chill, little laid back, he might not say too much, but if the song is playing, his head is bobbing, okay? For sure. My friends, yes, definitely. I don't call my friends because friends end. I call my friends family. There's only a select few. I don't have a whole lot of friends. I don't associate myself with a lot of people. And it's reasons behind that. Not negative reasons, but some of negative, of course, but mostly positive.